thoughts of that kind of matchup in prime time?
Yeah, it's two historic franchises that are playing really good football at the moment. It's still early in the season, but it has that big game feel to it. Sunday night, I feel like there's going to be a lot of eyeballs on this game.
TJ, Mike mentioned with us on Tuesday about defense getting off to a quicker start. How do you go about getting off to a quicker start?
Just playing more sound football early on, tackling, getting as many hats to the ball as we can, trusting in the assignment, all the basic defensive stuff. There's nothing mystical about it.
Anybody else? You faced some different types of quarterbacks. You had some younger guys like Nix and Richardson, and some very veterans like Cousins and Flacco. And you kind of need to attack those guys differently. Where does Dak kind of fall on that spectrum? Because he's obviously experienced, but he also has some legs to use.
Yeah, I mean, he can make every throw that you could possibly need to make in the NFL, but he also has a good amount of mobility to get out of the pocket. Definitely looking to throw, but he can run if you need to, and those got-to-have-it moments and those zone reads, he can still pull it. So it's going to be a challenge for us.
We're not used to seeing games like Sunday for you. Anything to put your finger on to why just never that splash play never really came?
Oh, no, I mean, there's many reasons for it, but we won't get into that.
What is it maybe that you guys can do to limit with the splash plays and the explosivity that the Colts have that we do use to their advantage?
Just stopping the run, everybody doing their job, making sure we don't have any busted coverages, things like that.
What are your expectations for the environment that we're on Sunday night?
I assume it's going to be pretty crazy. Looking forward to it. Sunday Night Football against the Dallas Cowboys at home. It should be a packed house.
On the internet for any period of time, it seems like there's a reel of plays look like holds on you during the last game. Is that what you experienced, or did you feel any worse that game or anything?
No, I mean, it's something I deal with each and every week, so nothing new.
What did you learn about this team over the first 4 weeks, especially offensively?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've built an identity, and kind of knew that going in with Arthur. It's been awesome to see a lot of the young guys play and play well, and I'm just excited to get back out there as well.
Isaac, you mentioned four young guys have gotten their first couple starts, and yet the team is 3-1. What does that say about some of the way that they play?
I think they've been playing. There's always ups and downs, but overall, and I knew that when they came in, and even Spence from last year, all talented, really good players. Kudos to the coaches as well. Putting guys in really good positions, and really thankful for the defense we have. Keeping the game always manageable, and they always usually step up when we need them.
Have you been able to kind of help and guide some of the young guys even while you're on the sideline?
Yeah, I try not to do too much. I think a lot of guys have their own routine and their own you kind of unfortunately or fortunately you got to learn by fire a lot of times. But if guys have questions, I'm more than happy to help. Try to help with the game plan, help on the sideline during games. But I'm never going to be a big rah-rah or do too much because they're good players, man. They're young, but they're all good players.
Isaac, specifically with Zach, how have you seen him grow? What's your anticipation of working with him in the first real game?
Yeah, I mean he's been solid. I think his talent is pretty evident, even if we're as young as he is. But there's always gonna be growing pains. But no, he's been great. So excited to get to actually work with him.
You've been just long enough that a month without practice, you're okay. You can jump right back in. And is there any rust or simulating back?
Yeah, I mean, if you asked me 4 or 5 years ago, maybe. But I feel pretty good. I've got a lot of experience, I think, under my belt. I mean, even last year when I had the shoulder deal, I was barely practicing. So I've always been pretty good at mentally staying in it and physically staying on top of being in shape and all that good stuff.
Was this week big for building cohesion with Zach? Or do you feel like you guys did that in camp and hit the ground running?
Yeah, I think you always want up front to be like 5-wheel drive, but it was just good that he can kind of hear. He can hear me and I can hear him, and played with Dan last year, so that was a pretty smooth transition. But no, I mean as we play better, the standard gets higher, so expectations get higher, and which is what it should be, if we want to be great.
Obviously, you guys are at home, so not the same challenges as last week environmentally, but Cowboys fans tend to make it pretty loud even when they're on the road from your experiences.
Yeah, I mean, Yeah, for sure. I mean, Cowboys fans travel well, but I expect it to be pretty black and yellow out there. So I think we'll be all right there.
Isaac, you've had some at your previous team. You had some spirited games against Dallas. Is that when you see that uniform? Is that going to mean a little something?
Not really. I mean, sometimes those rivalries are a little bit more fan based, but it's the most important game because it's the next one. So we try to live in that 1 week, universe, and then analyze the day after and then move on. So looking forward to it.
Is there something that's maybe tricky about coming back from a pec injury? How hard is that maybe to rehab and work through in season?
Yeah, I mean, in season is always a little tougher because you're pushing it a little bit and want to be. And I myself, I'm gonna try to push to get out there as soon as I can. I think with all injuries, it's just like the physical part will come a lot quicker than the mental. Being comfortable but it's felt really well, really good. Thankful for the training room and the weight room and all that good stuff. So it feels good.
It was only a couple years ago. You might have been the youngest guy in an offensive line. Now by far, you might be the oldest guy or the most experienced guy at least.
Call me old man. That's crazy.
I don't want to say that.
Yeah.
But is there? Do you have a different mindset that way or anything?
Yeah, I think the day-to-day stuff. I still want to be like mentally locked in all the time. I mean, I've definitely seen probably a lot, and you kind of see the same trends from teams over the years. But I really just try to, even from when I was young, just help my teammates as much as I can, and never be like an overbearing presence. But hopefully, guys feel comfortable coming up to me if they need to ask for something. And if they don't, then more power to them. But anything I can do to help this team win games, I'm going to do.
From what you've seen on the sideline, what kind of has to happen for the run game? Obviously, you guys want to run the ball a lot, run first team, but what do you have to do to maybe get an extra yard or two per carry and increase that?
Yeah, biggest thing on offense is, all 11 guys got to do their job. I've loved, guys finishing, a lot of the young guys. I mean, the effort has been, great. I just think the execution, needs to be, as we play better and the defense plays better, like we need to execute at a high level. And offensively, that means everybody, doing their jobs and each play at a time and kind of doing that 60, 70 times in a game. And I mean, it's not really much more than that. Everything else is kind of bonus, but the more we can kind of lock in and doing our jobs, we'll be better.
Isaac, how much do you appreciate a guy like Dan Moore and the Steelers drafting tackles in back-to-back years, the way he's gone about his business? And
Yeah, Dan's, I mean, since I've been here, he's been the ultimate pro. I think he's playing the best football of his life, and I've always told him, the sky's the limit for him. He's always had the talent. It just for some reason, it just takes 3-4 years, whatever, for a guy. But I think he's playing great, and I'm excited that he's still here and balling and brings a positive attitude every day. And no, it's been awesome.
Been in touch with James at all, and how he's holding up?
I haven't talked to him yet, but I'm sure I will. And,
You guys can rally around.
Yeah, it was heartbreaking, man. I mean, speaking of a guy, balling out, he was playing great. But knowing him, he's going to attack the rehab and be back better than ever.
How much does it help the line for you to come back? I mean, obviously you don't want to lose James, but having you come back right when he goes out, does that kind of maybe help some of the cohesion, or just to have a veteran leader be able to step in?
Yeah, I mean, selfishly, I want to be back out there as quick as I can. I think in terms of other guys, they're kind of learning, the weekly routine and what they need to do and how they can help, and learning kind of how I, operate out there. So, as long as we're all working together and communicating and, locking in on technique and all that good stuff, I think we'll be all right. So.
Darnell, what's that emotion like going back to the huddle after you make a play like that?
For sure. Actually, I think after that, I took it out, but when I did go back in, I just saw a little spark, just looking at everybody's eyes, and everybody, just bring them up a little bit,
Is there something about Arthur's offense that has allowed you to kind of unlock that, and Pat gets the touchdown? Is this offense a tight end stream?
I feel like I would like to say, yeah, at least compared to last year. No shade up, but I'm just saying, with Art Smith offense, coming from ATL and things like that, for sure been tight end friendly for a while. And I mean, he's a tight end guy. You know, at one point he did coach tight end, so I would like to say, yeah.
Is there anything else in your bag for this week? We're going to see more hurdles, more stiff arms?
Hey, whatever God has in plan for me and whatever I show up, you know, I don't really plan it. I just kind of just go with the flow. So.
What are you looking forward to about the environment on Sunday night?
Man, it's gonna be crazy because, you know, two great franchises, you know, going head to head. Definitely, you know, Sunday night football, things like that. So I don't know. I just know it's gonna be crazy. That's how I know.